ask away.
We wanted men.
I have spoken.
So we just got our reminders at the Star Wars meetups at noon today, and we're, 18 minutes away from the Star Wars meetup today at noon. We're pretty excited because we hadn't had a real meetup in a year.
Year and a half. When was the last one? February of 2020.
It was John Waterhouse hosted it.
That is?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was.
Because Toylanta was supposed to be the March meetup, and that got shut down because of COVID.
Yeah. The extra voice you hear is my wife in the back. Yes, we're recording. What? Oh, she needs her drink.
Non-alcoholic Coca-Cola.
Well, you never know with her, though. It could have some Jack or something in it. But I'm drinking it, so I shouldn't. Are you pretty excited, Jason?
Yeah. I'm excited to see a new collection.
Yeah. We're over to Terry Chandler's house. Check out his collection. What part of town's it in?
Douglasville. It's about an hour from where we live.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a focus on Hoth stuff, if I remember right.
Ooh.
I think. Don't quote me on that, but be interested to see that. And saw Terry a couple weeks ago at the swap meet in Powder Springs. How far is that from here? That's gotta be like 45 minutes.
Probably. Well, everything's an hour apart in Atlanta.
Seems like it. Even with traffic, it's a 15-minute drive, but with traffic, you'll see in an hour.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as LA.
Nope. But we're pretty excited. It's been a minute, like we said. Yeah, I can't believe it's February 2020 since our last official meetup. Because we've had we've had unofficial meetups, so we've been kind of still in the community, but not a official meetup. And then we had the summer social last month, which was fun. And that was... It's hard to qualify that as a meetup because you had like 100 people there. It's not as intimate.
Yeah. And the challenge is, since COVID happened, we're back at square one regarding meetups and membership, and I mean we're going pretty well. And then COVID happens, everything shuts down, and people kind of go their separate ways, and we're basically picking up the pieces here in the 5th year, and starting from scratch.
Right. I did notice. I'm starting to get notifications of the summer social, or virtual social.
Oh, memories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a year ago. Which is,
Oh.
Wow. It's crazy how far things have come in a year.
That was the perfect timing to do that. I don't think we could be as successful if we ever try to do a second one because, everything's opening up again, and it was the right place, right time kind of situation.
Right. Perfect storm, which everybody needed it. I enjoyed it because it was a con, and it'd been after Toylanta was shut down, and then Celebration was moved, and it just a lot of things happened, and then that summer social, the virtual social, just hit perfect.
It was awesome. It was an awesome time, and I'm proud to be part of it.
All right.
In my small way.
Well, you were a pretty big part of it.
Yeah, but I wasn't on camera interviewing people like Justin and Orion. I don't know how they did that marathon.
I don't know either. That was a pretty epic weekend. It was epic for me just sitting there.
But I'm excited to see people again.
Yeah, woohoo! What's the thing you're looking forward to the most?
I like seeing the collection, but I'm trying to focus more on getting outside of my head and not being so introverted and meeting people. So that's my challenge, is to try to meet 3 new people if there's 3 new people there.
Awesome. I think I'll accept your challenge because we need to be more. It's just being more welcoming and getting to know the more people, and making those contacts and those connections.
Right, because you're an admin of the group and you're doing admin stuff, and so it's tough to change hats in the middle of a meetup and and try to do that administrative stuff, and then try to just be a club member at the same time can be a challenge.
Right. It's definitely hard because you're running around making sure food's ready and people are there, and meetups are fun, but it's a lot of work. Even though I'm not officially hosting it, you still want to make sure things are going smooth.
And the other aspect of a meetup is the swap stuff.
Oh yeah.
And Jason TK Sparrow is going to be there, care of Atlanta Vintage Toys, and I'm sure he's got stuff to look at. So interested to see what he has, because it's always like you see those photos. We just got a big pickup, and we got this pickup, and so it's like it's a revolving door of inventory. And what do they bring this week, this month?
He always brings a good selection, so hopefully it'll be fun again. I love the swap meet, seeing what everybody brings, and seeing somebody's collection, because to me, I enjoy seeing people's collections. I enjoy seeing the joy on their faces about showing off their collections and the pride they have in them, because it doesn't matter, it's all Star Wars.
Yeah, and like Yoda says, size matters not. So it's not the size of your collection, it's your passion. That's all that's important.
All right. Awesome. Do we have anything? Is there anything coming up that we need to announce as far as shows or anything that you can think of?
Oh, you're the one in charge, not me.
You're just driving.
Right.
We're 11 minutes out. The sky is blue. The trees are green.
There's some clouds.
There's some.
The sky is still blue behind the clouds.
I'm gonna edit that out.
Aww. I just got edited. Are you still gonna edit it?
I don't know. I'll leave it in.
Yes.
It's a beautiful drive.
It's a beautiful drive. Feels like we're out in the middle of nowhere, but I mean, there's plenty of cars here. I'm sure they're behind the trees on this double lane highway.
There's a broke down trailer. Chattahoochee Hills. What are we, 11 minutes out?
We can come back when we pull up.
Yeah.
Check back in.
Yeah, man. All right, we're going to shut down, and we'll get some interviews and check in, and we'll do a meetup recap. So we'll see y'all in a little bit.
Hey everyone, it's Jason. We just wanted to jump in real quick and kind of set the stage for what you're about to listen to. This is a tour of Terry's collection. Terry is the owner of the Echo Base collection and his house and his room, and we're going to jump into this and just wanted to set it up so it didn't sound like there was a jarring jump between us talking in the car and then just all of a sudden you hear someone talking. So that's what you're about to listen to. Any thoughts on his collection, Glenn?
For what it was and jammed up in a room, he took care of every space and every inch of that room. My wife and I talked about it last night, and it's I guess when you're planning from scratch, it's a lot different than, because we were just planning from, we're going to throw a cabinet here and then we get another cabinet and you throw it here. But he just planned that room out, I think, perfectly for the space. And it was an incredible collection, and he had stuff spanning from stuff that he had as a kid to modern stuff to just, a really cool piece of media, VHS media advertising that, is complete, that unused stuff that, it was an amazing collection as far as I was concerned, because he had like 5 or 6, or I think he had like 10 or 15 men on cards, which I've got one. So it's just, like I said, it's amazing that people they try to be humbled with their collection and like, oh, it's not a big collection, and you get there and every time you're blown away with it. So like I said, it's Star Wars, and Star Wars is awesome.
And I'm going to let him talk about it. But a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how to give a tour of your room, and he makes it very personal. He's got a couple pieces and explains why he loves it and why it's so personal to him. And I think I got to go around my room and try to find those stories so I can tell people this is where this came from and this is why I collect this. And so
I was watching that video that you posted last night or shared with us last night of the tour, and I was like, I probably needed to stick around and watch that, because I went and ran around and was doing the admin stuff and not doing the other stuff up, trying to be an admin versus a spectator, and
Yeah.
I need to be more of a spectator sometimes.
So with that, here is Terry giving us a tour of his collection.
I really haven't had a chance to put it all together until now. I'd like to have a bigger room, but
We all
that grows with
Yeah.
time. So I've kind of recently gotten into the vintage collection. I really enjoy those.
Yeah.
I'll probably get rid of the 6-inch figures, these Black Series and stuff like that. There's just so many. I like them, but the 3 3/4 is just something that I've always. It's what we collected as a kid. I enjoy them, and just the articulation of those 3 3/4 figures, vintage collections.
What is that? The
So this is promotional material. So this was unused promotional material when the movies were released on beta.
so this is beta disc or beta?
No, that's the topper where you would actually suspend it from the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
It was like the video cassette.
Yeah.
So what they'd have inside that case is a display that they would put on the counter, and then you would take the little card out of it, and you would kind of put a little check mark and send off if you wanted to order it.
Yeah.
This came out in 1984. The company, which is Lesh Audio, was up in Wisconsin. They actually had two, and I did call them. They've been in business since 1968.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see if they were still in business. They had two, which they thought that it was amazing that box actually got out because they had sold it,
Yeah.
and it's complete. The poster was never used.
Wow.
Both of the posters were never used. So it's a neat piece.
So you called them directly and got that, or did you?
I called them because their address was still there.
Oh, okay,
And I wanted
okay.
to see if they were still in business.
Oh,
I sent
okay.
them a picture of it, and they thought it's a family-owned business since '68, and they thought it was
Okay.
amazing that I had that piece.
Yeah.
And,
For VHS release of Empire Strikes Back, and I love that art on it.
No, dude.
Sorry, there's so much to look at. Is this a Bosk prototype head
Yes.
for that exact figure?
For that exact figure.
That's pretty cool.
And I think Jason and Justin,
Yep.
the ones behind that piece.
That's pretty cool.
So I'm still working on the last 17.
The expensive ones.
Is in your podcast with at the time, $6,200 to get all of the 90
yeah.
figures.
Yep.
Yeah, well, those last few are, one, hard to find, and two, very expensive.
I just got the Dignitary last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it costs like, I want to say it's almost $300 with the coin.
So most of these other pieces down at the bottom, they're all 100% complete. Have all the stickers, everything's unused.
In the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Empire Strikes Back, turret, and Probot. So I'm sure the Probot's still in its bag.
Yes.
Return of the Jedi, TIE Interceptor, and Imperial TAC Base.
Let's get this piece.
A lot of these figures in vehicles and playsets may be incomplete right here in the case, but the cool thing about those is most of them are mine when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
So all of the stuff that's above the door, those are my figures. That's actually my case.
The Vader case?
That's my TIE Interceptor, my Millennium Falcon, my Ewok Village. So a lot of this stuff is just been mine as a kid.
Yeah.
So,
And are you focusing on the Hoth stuff?
yes. So this guy right here, he was my toy. I loved him. It's the one right there. I can tell which one it is because of the spot on his arm. He's been part of my collection since '81. And then I liked him so much because, one, he could be anybody you want him to be.
Yeah.
You can put any story to him.
Yeah.
It's how you create it.
Blank slate.
So, and I like it because, I started out, I was in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
I started out as infantry. So, they're infantry.
Yep.
Those are my people.
That's awesome.
So, just collecting the different variants. Right now, I've got a PvP coming to me.
Okay.
From the UK, which Naran helped me out on that.
So
Those are all the different color variants.
Wow.
And
honestly, you have them marked at the stand exactly what
oh
they're...
yes.
Yeah, I would probably need that too, because I'd be forgetting what variant is what. But yeah, that's a pretty impressive run.
Actually, there's 55
Whoa.
different variants as far as the Hoth Rebel Trooper. But those are the 9. The 9 that,
55 different
Yeah.
combinations.
yeah, 55 different combinations, but
Insane.
those are the 9 that everybody kind of looks for. And then, of course, the PvP and the Pooch.
I love this display that you have with the cases from IKEA. I mean, it just kind of elevates everything. It just makes it feel museum quality, and it's a beautiful display. So I think good job there.
Thanks. And, of course, everything else is kind of full of other toys, too. Star Wars,
Yeah.
of course. I've been interested in these soap and the shampoo bottles or the bubble bath. So right now, the only person I know that actually has a stand, the R2D2, is Robin Bokra, and I will eventually own one if I could find one.
Are they difficult to find?
The
Rare?
stands they are, yes.
Okay.
And even the Return of the Jedi, I found one on eBay, but it doesn't have any of the shelves. So, which it kind of defeats the point of actually having it.
Yeah.
And but I can find the soaps and the bubble bath quite often.
It's pretty. The carded pieces are awesome too.
Yeah, I like my carded pieces. I think most people will know that the Empire Strikes Back is continuously going up as far as the price.
Yep.
So really finding stuff, and then the different card back variants. They're out there.
Yeah, they're just getting more and more expensive, like you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
What are these card backs back there? Just different.
Yes. Yeah, those are all the card backs as far as
The Hoth
Yep.
Rebel Trooper.
Soldier. I think my favorite pieces is promotional material. Because I haven't seen that in anyone's collection.
Yeah, that's pretty
Maybe
special right
Ryan
there.
has it, but
No, I think that's pretty special.
and then the story that goes along with it, which is really nice after speaking to the people that did own it, that did receive it from CBS Fox.
Oh, so okay. You called the people that received it.
Yes. Yes, I did. I wanted to see if they were still in business,
Gotcha.
and they are.
That's
Like I said, it's a family-owned business since '68.
Mm-hmm.
Mom and Pop owned it. They remember it,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, the label system, the labeling's still there, and from the print press that actually produced it.
Wow. Yeah.
Switch.
It still has all the card inserts.
You got a vintage Empire Strikes Back comic book.
Yeah, that's the large print that they had released.
Oh, you've got the first edition Mandalorian white box.
Yeah, so I don't really call this just my room. It's Lisa's room too, because a lot of this stuff on this the new stuff she actually picked up for me, other than the stuff that's on the top. It's everything she's kind of picked up, or actually Tim's kind of provided me with a lot of things too. He seems to look out for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is the top.
Which version of Falcon is this? Is this Legacy? Or is this the Smugglers?
The Smugglers.
Smugglers Run version?
Yeah, I contemplated ever doing that, but Tim, again,
Tim. He's your
he's
pusher.
kind of like, yes, he is my pusher. He is the guy. But I enjoyed the thing so much that I actually wanted to display it. It's a beautiful piece.
It is. It's probably one of the best Falcons they've made.
But you have no radar dish.
Yes, it did not come with one in the box.
Oh no.
But I've heard that you can actually call and get it. And
Yeah, Hasbro's pretty good about if you got to show proof, but they're pretty good about it.
So that was an amazing piece. I loved how he was talking about his personal relationship with the Marines and how essentially, and I'm not trying to put anyone down, they're just jugheads, right? They're not the generals, they're not the Jedis, like everyone has an important part to play in the armed forces, and I sincerely don't mean to put anyone down. It's just everyone has a role, and everyone has a role to play in the armed services. You know, in Empire Strikes Back, you do see the Hoth rebel soldiers on the ground, but you don't hear their story because they're not a Han Solo, they're not a Luke Skywalker, they're not a Princess Leia or General Leia, however you want to phrase her. But
She'll always be royalty to me.
Exactly. But I loved his story about, you know, if he was in the Star Wars universe, essentially he would be a Hoth rebel soldier.
And that yeah. No, I love hearing people's stories as to why they go to gravitate towards one figure. And his story was just basic. It was like, I was a grunt in the Marines and I like these guys because they're grunts. And then he collects, you know, all the variants, or he's on his way to collecting all the variants. And you've learned that figure actually has a lot of variants out there. And there's a lot of different things that happen with that figure that you don't even think about, because all he is he's an army builder. Who cares?
Yeah. 55 variants of the Hoth Rebel Trooper.
That's crazy.
That is insane. And it just blows my mind that someone's like, wait a minute, this one's different. Wait a minute. Like somebody's gone through and discovered that there's 55 different variants.
And they're probably still discovering variants because Narayan is every day. He's like, there's a new variant. They found the new variant on something. Yeah. And he goes and collects them all. So, yeah. But yeah, it's crazy the amount of variants. And it could be simple as they didn't have the right paint color in one day and they changed the paint color and you got a variant.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because Jim Swearengin was on stage at IC and he was saying there are no variants. There's only mistakes. But people love the mistakes. They want to collect the mistakes. And it was officially released mistake and they want that. So I love that. But in this next clip, real quick, we're going to talk with Jerry Hancock or Kia Adi Randy. I can't ever say Kai Andy, that character from Phantom Menace and the prequels and all that. But anyways, we talked to him, and then Tony Johnson does pop his head in, and we talk about some Georgia Alliance of Star Wars collector ideas. So this is just a little fly on the wall. Listen. There, I'm recording. So I'm with Kiadi Randy, or do you want to be Jerry?
Whatever you want.
No.
People know me as Kiadi Randy in the collector circles, but Jerry Hancock's the name. So.
Okay, there we go. Now it gets quiet.
Conversation. We don't know what we're going to talk about for the podcast, but anyway, we're talking about doing an art project for Toylanta versus just doing a canvas versus the whole Vader case, which shipping a Vader case is a bitch.
$20 plus.
Right.
Where canvas is a lot easier, and I think honestly it gives a lot more creativity to the artist.
Right.
You know, what size canvas? I know that you're trying to keep it around a certain size.
Do it 11 by 17 or 11 by 14. Was it 11
by 14?
11 by 14. Yeah. And this is your character.
There you go. I think that works. Yeah. I think we're going to get a lot better art. There's not as many restraints on it doing it that way. I think it's a plus.
Something to look forward to come March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Toylanta's shaping up, I think.
Yeah, Toylanta will be fun. It's always fun.
You think it's gonna be more crowded than last year?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're on the podcast, so yes.
Because he's shaking his head. You can't see that.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot better than last year, just because I think COVID kind of scared people away. It was still a good crowd, though.
Yeah.
At Toylanta this year.
I know the host hotel better get their shit together.
I think they're giving. Dude, we could say the S-bomb, and I eventually drop the F-bomb every now and again. I think they're going to give it one more try and see what happens. But yeah, that host hotel, definitely.
They got to up their game if they want to keep this. They need to up their game because not having a bar open, they could have made a freaking fortune. There were people drinking in their cars.
Right.
At Toylanta. That's money lost.
Well, people were leaving property for food.
Yeah.
And then they never came back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is not good for the hotel because they're losing out on more money, and then it's not good for the show itself.
Exactly. Or at least pull in some food trucks.
Yeah, we want to make the show healthy. We want Bambi and their team to have a good show. But I do think that if they just would let us run the Star Wars side of it, I think that would bring. I think we got Ian on board. Mm-hmm. If we can squeeze him somewhere, I think he could do very well. And I think if we get the Kenner guys involved, that's going to take it to a whole other level.
Right.
And Bambi and them get all of that for the price of, what, 2 tables?
Right. Not even 2 tables.
What was their program? I don't even remember if they had a program last year. Like, did they have any panels?
Yeah, they had
We did
panels.
a panel.
We did a panel.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Tim and Doug didn't
Somehow I
come.
got tacked onto that.
Yeah, Tim and Doug didn't come because I think it was health concerns for both of them, and rightfully so. But I think Tim and Doug are given. And if Jim talked like that might be something he could be interested in. Now, how much of that we're going to have to foot, or we're going to have to pay for hotel room for Jim and Emery maybe? I think it would be worth the investment if we could get them to come out, because again, it's just going to take it to the next level. We get Steve Hodges, the guy designed freaking Blue Snaggletooth. He was second in command under Jim during the early stages. I think, health permitting, because he's another one. He's never been invited to anything. That's what he told Terry. He's like, nobody's ever invited me out. But I think it's a voice that you have to have that voice if you're going to talk. That early stage in particular. We could get a Kenner panel of, say, 3 to 4 designers. We get Ian Sanderson out there. I think all of those things are going to speak volumes for the club, and if we have to invest a little money in that, I think it's worth the investment.
We've got the money.
Okay, there you go. Good. And following what Matt said last weekend with the auction thing, I thought that was brilliant, because when we do little meetups like this, I have 3 boxes of stuff in my car right now. I brought it. I'll give it away. But if we auction it right now, we put half the money into the club, half the money into children's health care. We've killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've cleaned my closet.
No, I think here in a minute we need to bring that up. Because, what Jerry was saying is it's an idea of anybody that has crap that they don't want anymore, you bring it to a meetup and you auction it off. And then half goes to children's health care, half goes to the club, and everybody walks away happy.
Yeah.
Because you get rid of stuff that you don't want, and the club makes money, and then children makes money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it does.
I bring something to meetups and then I give it to the raffle.
There you go.
That's for most of it.
So I think, that's what I did with that poster that we did at Toyland. I had that in my freaking closet. Kim gave it to me because he didn't think the colors were just right. And there were a couple spots, they were a little off, but he gave it to me, and I was just like, well, I'm not going to put this up. We take it, we frame it up, and we do it for the raffle.
Right.
If we can do that, for each of our meetups, I think that's going to be beneficial for the club. It's going to be beneficial for CHOA, which obviously is sort of our pet project. I think it's a win-win. A win-win-win.
Right. Exactly.
Really.
Win-win-win.
Right.
So if we can do that going forward, I think for our meetups, I think it'll be a healthy, and I think it'll be a fun way to, we do an auction style, because I got a stack of comics. I've got a bunch of micro machines, and I know, but
Hello.
Hold on, whatever. What you got in your pocket?
What's up?
we got.
I got buttons. How much can I get for buttons?
I got a 12-inch Han Solo right now in the box, still sealed.
Damn.
Yeah, I got a few things out there.
There goes Tony's ears. Hello.
I got one from Jason and Justin in their last haul.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what Matt was saying. They have the Ohio Club. They say that you get one piece and 2 people want it to fill a void in their collection. You get a little bidding war going. You jack the price up. It's all for a good cause. The club benefits. Obviously, we build up the budget for the club.
So in this next clip we're about to listen to, we kind of corner Terry right before we kind of head out back home and talk about his collection and why he enjoys the club and just some of his thoughts. We also ask him what his favorite piece is, and I think that just to see that piece was really touching.
And I it made me appreciate Terry even more, because I think when you corner somebody is a rough word, a rough term to use, but the fact that you're able to talk one-on-one with somebody who you may never have talked one-on-one with, you find out more about them. And it's Terry's one of those guys that I think him and my wife, I'll get back to that. His wife and my wife kind of hit it off, but I got to talk about that in a second. But, the more you talk to somebody, and he's a good example, you learn more about him, and you're like, he's actually he thinks about his stuff and he knows his stuff. And, he's very thoughtful and very well-spoken. And, it's definitely somebody I need to make an effort to hang out with more, because, we've got very similar interests. And, it's Star Wars. It's an icebreaker. But the one thing I really enjoyed about this meetup, before we go and get into this ending of everything, is how all the wives are starting to click. They're all starting to hang out, and they've actually got their own little clique going in the as at our meetup. So the wives are hanging out more, which is awesome for us, because now it's like my wife can come and hang out, and Terry's wife can hang out, and April Lewis's wife can hang out, and we've got Susan. She hangs out with all of them. So it's great that we have this nice little group of women that are getting together outside. It's still part of the meetup, but outside of the meetup, and they're able to get and enjoy the Star Wars collecting. And I think they've all kind of come kicking and screaming, but then when they realize that everybody else's wife is kicking and screaming, that they get a bond, and it's a cool thing to see.
Plus, they also become a stakeholder in the collection, so they help you collect and acquire more. And I was noticing, like, during the auction, because we had an auction 50-50 raffle, part of it went to the club funds, the other part's going to Choa. But during that auction, it was the wives that were bidding more than the husbands. The wives were trying to acquire more for the husbands, and I shouldn't put it that way, because it is part of their collection too, so they are collecting for themselves as well.
My wife is just as big a collector as I am, and it's just having a different set of eyes that look at it something differently, and it's really fun when you do have a wife that collects with you.
So with that, here's Terry.
We're here with Terry Chandler, the owner of the house and the collection, and just wanted to ask him a couple of questions and thank him for having us out. But Terry, your collection's great, man. I know you said you're like, oh, it's small, but man, it's an incredible collection, dude.
Thank you.
Jason does a better job interviewing. Yeah. Or he knows better questions than I do.
You were kind of talking about what the club means to you. And that was all great stuff. So tell us, for the podcast, what does the group mean to you, and everybody coming together? Like, you said that so well downstairs. So
I think for me now, as I've gotten older, I think...
I'm breaking. I just leaned wrong on a glass and it moved. Oops. Here.
Don't touch anything.
I can't touch anything. My wife won't let me touch anything. And Terry and Jason are moving the glass. I won't touch it anymore. Okay. Yeah. Terry, you were saying how much you love the club.
I think for me now, it's
important.
I think it's the friends and the fellowship. I think it's important to be able to get out and socialize with people. One, it brings people, a community together, and it's just, like I said, it's the social aspect of it. One, we have one thing, a common theme between all of us, and just having a conversation about that, and kind of stepping out of reality and living in this little dream world, this fantasy that we all like to come to every once in a while.
Right, and you were saying how you and your wife love just chilling out here. I mean, what do you? I mean, you've got the nice couch that you can come and just kind of sit, and that's what I always suggest. Put seating in your collection room, because you're going to want to come in here and chill out. What do you and your wife? I mean, do y'all have any pieces y'all talk about when you get up here, or special ultra secret conversations?
I think one of the things for Lisa, she really wasn't into Star Wars as a kid. She was into her own things and really not understanding it. And I think she and I like to come up here, and she sits and talks about each one of the pieces and what do they remind me of, why do I have it. And I think just the sheer enjoyment of actually talking about each piece and just having a conversation that just steps out of life in general, and just talking about something that's here. It's an inanimate object, but it brings peace and comfort and this happiness between the two of us, that we're not having to talk about the daily activities of life. And I think that's why we have a couch in here, and we can just sit in here and just enjoy the collection.
Right. Awesome.
Favorite piece in the collection that you have so far? Most meaningful?
I think there's different pieces. So the Ewok playset is something my grandmother bought for me. That's when Return of the Jedi come out. She's passed several years ago, but I love to look at that piece. It kind of reminds me of her. There's only one that's in here currently, but my pictures. I love to take pictures, but I think that's kind of captures everything as far as the group and people. You know, because I have the group in here every single day with me, no matter if you're not here or not. You know, you're here. So it's really neat to have those things. Honestly, I could probably talk all day about each individual piece that somebody's either purchased for me or somebody's given to me. But yeah, the Ewok playset is because it came from my grandmother.
Yeah, that one seems to float to the surface when you ask that question, so that must be the piece.
Yeah.
And it's in great condition from the looks of it.
It's missing a few pieces, but I'm pretty sure it's at my parents' house. I'll have to
dig it out,
search and dig it out, but most of it's there.
Cincinnati. I see you went to Cincinnati. I know it's off the cuff, but what did you think of Cincinnati while you were up there?
Amazing city. Even driving through it, it wasn't like the hustle and bustle of Atlanta, or just 285. Even in a busy part of the daytime, it was really nice, and you can get out and walk, and you know that's where it all started at. You know, that building right there, that Kroger building. And then just going out and just seeing some of the toy shops, and it's Kenner country there.
Oh yeah,
it's nice to visit.
Yeah, it's a different world when you get up there.
Yes, it is.
And it's fun, you know. Like, did you talk to anybody? Did you get to hear their stories? And you know,
no,
like just like the toy owners, didn't it? The toy shops.
Oh yeah, the toy
when
shops.
You were at the toy shops, they love talking Star Wars.
They
up
do.
There.
They do. Yeah, I didn't see anybody as far as downtown or talk to anyone. I think everybody was kind of just going to work and doing what they have to do. But yeah, the toy shops that I did stop off.
Yeah.
You know, they talked about how many years they were there and what they've had come through their shop, which was really neat. You know, and they've found some nice pieces that they've had and let go and thought that they wanted to keep it for their own collection, but didn't. And it's a business that they're trying to run, so they have to let some of those pieces go. But yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite shop while you were up there?
I'm trying to think of the name of the shop now. One of our friends that lives up there, they took us. It's one of the well-known shops that's there. It's really nice, and for the life of me, I can't.
Toy department, maybe.
Toy department. Yes. Yeah. It was a really nice shop. I like walking through there because everything's in a glass case and everything's separated, so it was neat.
Awesome.
And they are willing to talk. And
oh yeah.
Actually, that's where I got the Masters of the Universe piece that came from that shop.
Very cool. You got anything else, Jason?
I don't think so.
Awesome.
Getting lost looking at things.
Yeah, it's because when you said the Ewok, I didn't even realize you had it up there. I mean, it's just you're focusing on stuff at eye level, and then you look up and there's more stuff. And yeah, it's an incredible collection, Terry.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, we got like an hour drive home, and I want to say that was one hell of a meetup, wasn't it, Jason?
That was incredible. I mean, Terry kind of set the stage and said, I don't have a lot, and so you kind of lower your standards, and you walk into his room, and it's like, dude, what are you talking about? This is amazing. Yeah, he's got all the IKEA cabinets, the glass ones, elevated up, and he's got it all with lights, and he really has like a museum quality display. He's got a nice collection of variant Hoth Rebel soldiers. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was yeah. Like he was just like, I don't have near the collection everybody else does. And you walk in the room, like Jason said, is one wall full of Detolfs, and then he's got him. What did I say it wrong?
No, you said it right. I couldn't remember what it was. Sorry.
And then they were all kind of lifted up about 3 or 4 feet off the grounds with another thing from IKEA, and they were all lit. And then he had a case with his 90 or his loose run. I think he's just missing like maybe 10 of the last 17, which is going to be, good luck with that, Terry. Because they've gotten crazy the last few years. And then he's got this really cool. One of the coolest pieces I thought he had was I don't know exactly what it was, but it was to go with Empire Strikes Back, and I think it was for a video store or something, and it was never displayed. So he still has the box. He has the original box. It has the address label for the company it was sent to, and he said he actually called them to see if they were still in business, and at the time it was a mom and pop company, and they were like, wow, how'd you end up with that? And it was just one of those pieces that you don't see very often. So I think that kind of is the crown jewel of his collection.
Yeah, I love the art on that. It's got the bright purples and reds. Oh, there's a pirate ship on this lake here.
Wow, look at that.
Sorry.
It's stuff you see driving in the country.
Yeah, it's like made out of cinder blocks. It's maybe about the size of a tractor trailer, the back half, and it's got sails, and it's out in the middle of a pond.
Like a hacienda.
Yeah.
Yes, and then the house is Mexican.
You have to swim to the boat because or take a boat to the boat.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I don't know if I'd want to swim in that water.
No, it's probably slimy things in the water.
Yeah. And we just passed a No to Republic sign, so yay.
It was great to see everyone again.
Yeah, that was the best part, man. Just getting to see people again.
Well, it feels like we're getting to know them again.
It really does. But yeah, they were Jerry, one of the guys in the group, had this great. He met up with actually you and another guy at Narayan's house.
Yeah.
One of the Ohio guys, and he'd come up with this great idea of, stuff that you don't want, that you've just collected over the years, to bring it to a meetup and auction it off, and then you split the funds with CHOA and with the club, and that actually we raised like $120 total, so $60 will go to the club, $60 will go to CHOA, and that's some much needed funds for the club. So
right.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
What you seem to pick something up. What'd you pick up?
Yeah, Tony had because I'm a modern collector primarily, so there's some pieces that I didn't pick up. And one of it was for the solo line, they did play sets, but they did cardboard play sets. This is where I turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did cardboard play sets, and it came with an exclusive figure that you could only get with the play set. So this was the Kessel scene from Solo, and comes with Han Solo with the what do they call the fuel from the movie?
Coaxium?
Coaxium, thank you. I'm looking at traffic here.
Yay, Atlanta traffic.
Yeah, it's thick. It's not slow, but it's thick. That's what she said.
Oh, that was a PG.
I was just waiting for Glenn to say it.
You beat me to it.
Yeah. Yeah, what did you pick up?
I picked up an Ahsoka Trooper that I've been looking at for a minute, and Tony had a good price on it too, so I had the cash in my pocket, so I picked that up.
Yeah, I need to start bringing cash to the meetup so I don't have to do PayPal.
Yeah. There was Jason had a bank, a Chewy bank, Sigma bank, that I really thought about for a minute, but Tony, there again, I bought a piece, and that person used the cash that I paid to buy a piece that I was looking at. But Tony did give me right of first refusal on it, so that was cool. But I didn't pick it up. But yeah,
there's a car in front of us from Arkansas that's got a Clone Trooper sticker on the back.
Yes, is that a Sabine next to it? I can't tell.
Can't tell. I can pull up next to
But yeah, we do. You see a lot more Star Wars. It's not as bad. You're not a nerd anymore if you like Star Wars.
It's mainstream now.
That's the word I was looking for. Mainstream.
It's everywhere, man.
It was fun that Jason also brought a inbox AT-AT. I think it had all the inserts. Only thing that it had was the stickers had been applied, and Terry and his wife Lisa were having a very not heated discussion, but you know, babe, can I get this? Yeah, you can get it. Are you sure I can get it, babe? Yeah, go buy it, babe. One of those discussions.
Yeah, they were having a blast hosting everyone. You could just tell their faces were bright. They were happy to have everyone there. And he was looking to buy that piece, and she's like, no, go ahead, do it. And he's just like, I don't know. And he looked at me, he's like, would you buy that? I'm like, if my wife said yes, absolutely, I would buy that.
So, that was fun. We left before the conclusion was made, so I guess we'll see in the chats if he pops it up.
I'm looking forward to the October event, and hopefully people can come out. And it was a great time.
Right.
Just hanging out and talking Star Wars and connecting.
Yep. He had Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets.
Ooh, that was good.
Yeah.
I hit the spot because I went hungry.
Yes.
That was my mistake.
I tore into that. We got there right before noon, and of course Lisa's like, "Y'all can eat," and I'm like, "Hungry." So I'm not ashamed to be the first person into some food.
I liked Terry's collection of both modern and vintage. The common theme was the Hoth Rebel Trooper that popped up everywhere.
And he was saying he likes that because he started in infantry when he was in the Marines, so they kind of connected with him. And he had 9 different variants of it?
Something like that, but he was saying there's 55 different variants of the Hoth Rebel Trooper.
Jeez.
I just don't know how you keep track of all that stuff.
Narayan, how do you keep track of all that stuff?
Well, he had a great idea of putting on the stand itself in Sharpie, he would write what exactly variant that was for his own reference, I would imagine, but that was a good idea to display it and then also display what it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it gave me some ideas for my collection when I want to upgrade the cases I've got stuff in. But I always try taking away some kind of idea or some kind of way I can change my collection up whenever I see a new collection.
Yeah, I've got that corner where I have like plastic shelving and it's just boxed vehicles, and I'm like, what can I do to elevate that section of the room? Because I don't know, just thinking after seeing what he's done with his elevated display, the museum quality stuff is just, I like that.
Yeah. It definitely, having the lights and having it in an enclosed glass case helps out a ton.
Another tip, if you plan on bringing stuff to sell, it's not a bad idea to bring a folding table if you have it.
Yeah.
Because we were running out of table space and people were bringing their boxes and things were on the ground, and I can just see someone accidentally kicking something. Like Tony had some of the Black Series stuff and he kind of put it on the ground and it was kind of out of sight, out of mind. Someone could accidentally step on it, and we don't want that to happen. So if you have a table, small table, bring it. We could probably find a spot for it.
Right. Who do you think this is from Hoover, Alabama, with 3 buses and a bunch of police, 4 buses and a bunch of police escorts?
If it's a country star, I have no clue. That's not Jackson, Mississippi. I don't know. Randy Travis? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah. Is there a sports team in Hoover, Alabama? It's not.
Who would they be playing? UGA?
I guess. Well, the college football doesn't start for another couple of weeks. I don't know. Unless it's you think it'd be high school?
I don't think. Not with police escorting them.
Dude, it is Hoover, Alabama. High school football's pretty big over there.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. Although it's not even. Oh, Friday night was last night, so Saturday they're driving home.
No, they're going into Atlanta though.
I don't know, man. I give up.
They could be playing a Saturday game, but no, you think they'd be there.
I'm spitballing here.
I asked a question and you're answering it.
And I'm answering it all wrong, apparently. Well, it's not Randy Travis, because it's football, apparently. I don't know
either, because it doesn't look like a country star.
No, I think it's Max
bus.
Rebo.
There you go.
It's Max Rebo's band.
Max Rebo needs a bus all to himself.
Prisoner transfer.
Prisoner transfer, even better.
From Subblock 1138.
We're fine here. Everything's fine.
We're all fine. How are you?
And now look, there's a bunch of orange. Or what the
Onions.
hell? Onions.
Sweet onions.
Are those from about the area?
I don't know. This is riveting. What you hauling? Oh, there's a truck here with what do you call that? Back piece here. I don't know.
A tailgate?
Tailgate. What you hauling?
Oh, jeez.
Anyways. Did you see Toys R Us is coming back?
I saw that at Macy's. Do you think it's going to be worth a damn?
It's online only.
Is it? Well, right now it's online only, but I thought they were opening up in 400 stores. That was the press release. They said they're opening up stores within a stores at 400 locations. But I'm like, isn't Macy's closing down too?
That'll bring back Macy's because all of us nerds.
They tried that with
Macy's is closing down because their makeup counter is now in Kohl's. What is it?
Sephora.
Sephora's closing down?
I don't know.
Sephora is now in Kohl's, so I think Penny's are closing down.
Yeah.
Because it used to be in Penny's, right?
Yes.
What is
A rock quarry.
Rock quarry. But yeah, like I thought they did that with FEO Schwartz. You know, it's just like it's a slap in the face to have a shop within a shop because you know they're not going to have the stuff that they once had.
Right.
And Walmart and Target's not going to lose their dominance in the toy industry right now because Toys R Us is opening up in Macy's.
No.
They're just not going to have the selection, and it's just going to be the big stuff. So okay, I'll go check it out, but
it could also be like the crap that nobody else wants, or it could be like Toys R Us branded stuff.
Yeah, we'll see.
I would highly doubt that you're going to walk into Macy's and find Star Wars toys.
There. We're getting to the meat of the discussion right there. No, they're not going to have that kind of stuff. And if they do, it's going to be overpriced. You're not going to pay $20 for. Well, okay, so everything's going up to $25. So if you go into Macy's, the Toys R Us shop, and find a Black Series figure, you're probably going to be paying $30 for a regular figure.
Right. Which may help you out if you're trying to find a certain one that nobody wants to pay $30 for. You know, maybe they'll get stuff that, you know, it'll be easier to find because nobody wants to pay $30 for it.
You ever go into that Joann's on Ernest Barrett? Or Barrett Parkway?
Oh, yeah.
The former Toys R Us, now Joann's Fabric.
I went in there to buy some frames one time.
It's just sad. You go like over to the left-hand side of the store, and you're like, "This is where the action figures were," and it's not here anymore.
Speaking of Toys R Us, I found my Star Wars sign for you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I gotta find the frame for that.
Yeah.
I gotta see if there's one on eBay. It's the aisle frame that they used to have. So when you'd walk down the aisle, it would say Star Wars on the end, so you know exactly which aisle to go to get your action figures.
Yeah. I had first night's Toys R Us announced they were going out of business. We went in the store and they were like, take whatever you want. So everybody was taking all kinds of signs, and I was just walking down aisles and I ended up taking down signs. I ended up with Star Wars and Transformers and Toy Story and Cars and all kinds of crap. And then I'd gone weeks later and found another Star Wars. Yes, I bought it. The Star Wars thing and Star Wars sign, and I'd put it in my work truck, and I'd changed work trucks, and I spent like the last year wondering what I did with it. And we have a new guy starting on Monday, so we cleaned out the work truck, got all the crap that I left in it, and there was that sign. I was like, damn. Here's your sign.
Thank you.
So Jason's gonna get it.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Add it to my toy store.
So it's in the car, so don't let me forget it.
I won't. I'll be running after you. Hey, wait a minute! Don't forget my sign.
My Toys R Us sign.
It's got no value in the real world except in my heart.
Dude, you never know. You could have a couple of people on Deal or No Deal that want that, and I could have made like $200-300 off of it.
No, you couldn't. It's worth nothing. Cut to 3 hours later, and Deal or No Deal, I'm listing it. I'm joking.
I'm gonna see that thing. I'll be like, damn it, Jason. And there's a Mercedes. You're doing 70 and passing it like it's nothing.
Bumper's falling off.
Oh, I'm doing 70 and a 70? That's not right.
It is Atlanta. You should be doing like 90.
I'm speeding up now.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Did you pick anything up this week?
The only thing I picked up, so Ollie's had solo TIE Fighters from the movie Solo line, the actual TIE Fighters. I picked up one of those for $10, which is not a bad price for a TIE Fighter.
No.
And I'm like, can I pick up a second one and paint it these Sabine colors? That would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome. I tried that with the first order ones, and I think I bought cheap spray paint, or I did it at the wrong time of year, and the spray paint just fell off of it.
Yeah, you kind of have to rough it up because it is a plastic, and you need to give something for the spray paint to hold on to, I think.
I don't know, but if it comes out good, buy another one. Because I'd love one painted Sabine colors. That'd be badass.
And then Hasbro sent me my vintage collection gaming grades battle droid from, I can't remember which game, Battlefront 2 or Force Unleashed or one of those. It's a pretty view of the city when you come this way.
Yeah. Atlanta's a pretty city from 20 miles away.
You get close. There's Six Flags for reference if anybody wants to know where we are right now as we drive into the city towards home.
Yeah, we spent too much time talking about Six Flags a few episodes ago, so I'm not going to go into a Six Flags episode.
It's not safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, your meetup.
I did. Did you get your? What did I pick up? I did pick up one of the Mattel did a Hot Wheels, Darth Vader Hot Wheels from the first issue, comic book issue.
Oh right, it was kind of greenish color.
Yeah, I picked that up. It was not, the packaging was awesome, but the car was not that impressive.
No. Did you open it? Or just leave it in the package?
Well, you have to open the package to see the car because it's like in a box. Because there's a lot of people at Six Flags, but there's a box that it comes in that's like a comic book that looks like the comic book, and then you have to open that box to get in to see the car.
Okay.
So it's just like a little slip of, you cut a little piece of tape, and there it is.
And then I also saw Obi-Wan Kenobi has finished filming.
Right.
So I would assume that comes out next fall. It's bumpy here.
It is Atlanta.
Right outside Six Flags, so it's not a good sign. And then Carl Weathers said that he's going to start filming Mando next month.
Right.
So that's right around the corner.
Did you get the email from Hasbro Pulse about your Ahsoka and Darth Maul being delayed till November 1st?
Yeah, I got so I actually went into Walmart this past week and I saw that they had a Lando Calrissian Black Series Return of the Jedi green box coming to the 40th anniversary collection in 2 years. They had that on the shelf, and I debated on buying it, and I'm like, well, it should be coming in Hasbro Pulse soon, so I let it for the next collector. I left it on the shelf, and the next day I get an email from Hasbro about all my Black Series being delayed, all my vintage collection figures being delayed. And then I got one email that said my Power of the Force Black Series Luke Skywalker is going to ship next week. Earlier than expected. Okay, whatever.
So which one is that? Which one's that one?
It's got the Power of the Force, the red box with the yellow line through it from the 90s. So the relaunch with the buff Luke.
Right, so a repack of...
Do you even Force Bro? That Luke.
Right.
But it's just a repack. But I really I have a very fond nostalgia for that red line. We've talked about it. I don't need to go back into it, but I'm excited to have it.
Cool.
It's going to be weird not to have a buff Luke in the package.
They really should have done that. How hard would it have been to do a body swap on
Someone's got to do a custom. You put in like a Masters of the Universe He-Man in there with a Luke head.
that? Oh, man.
That's all you need.
Right, or get the Rambo figure and put it in there. Man.
Yeah, this is the part of 285 where people just they try to skip the weight, so they just try to push themselves into the line, even though I don't know. Just riveting podcasting here as we drive from the country into the city.
What was the coolest piece you saw in Terry's collection? And people are honking at us.
Honking at me. Sorry, I'm distracted. You know, I was really touched by his story about his grandmother giving him that Ewok village, and you could see it was the first thing he looked at and the first thing that came to mind. So even though it's not, quote, as impressive as like first shot Bill and Ted figures, I mean, it's still pretty. You look at that piece and you go, wow, that piece really means a lot to someone, and that exact piece means a lot. So that's what I'm going to go with. Right.
That, and I think that's sort of the same thing with me. It's not the most impressive piece, but it's the piece that somebody bought you. You know, as far as my collection goes, it's the piece that somebody bought you that means the most, or the person, or the memory that goes with. It's the memory that goes with the piece that makes the piece more than the value of the piece.
I mean, I also like the George Bezos stuff because that was personalized to him. The Hoth base, where he's got the Rebel Troopers, but he's kind of positioned them with a Tauntaun to make it look like Charlie's Angels.
And he also has him like riding a Tauntaun, but he made it look like a Tauntaun costume.
Right.
So like he was the feet of the Tauntaun.
That George Bezos, pretty talented.
Yeah, look him up. I need to get him to do me a logo. I think it'd be pretty cool. I want to do like a tattooed Wampa or something.
So, yeah, anything else? I have some notes. I forgot about that.
Oh, you made notes?
I made notes.
You're such a good podcaster, dude.
Oh, more complaining about Hasbro. That's the only other thing in my notepad here.
What did Hasbro do this time?
Well, they've had 4 Marvel live streams in 2 months. So it's almost 2 months. They did 2 in July, 2 in August, talking about new Marvel products. They've had 1 in June for Star Wars. But I also heard the rumor that Hasbro is short-staffed right now, which means they don't have people to support the line, which might be part of the reason why we haven't had a live stream.
I am looking up. I did get an email from Hasbro Pulse. Nope, it is. Hold on, they do say that October 22nd and 23rd, Hasbro Pulse Con.
Yes.
G.I. Joe, Magic, Nerf, Power Rangers, Transformers, Dungeons and Dragons. Who wants Dungeons and Dragons figures? And then we're going to get 20 emails from people who want Dungeons and Dragons figures. As well as other partner brands, Star Wars, Marvel, Ghostbusters, Fortnite, and more.
So I would anticipate that the Emperor, the Vintage Collection Emperor, goes on sale then, along with the Cantina Bar. Will probably go on sale then.
You know, I'm going to let you finish your thing here in a second, but you mentioned the Cantina Bar, that you have to buy like 2 or 3 of those Cantina Bars to make a bar.
Yes, it comes with 2 straight pieces and 1 curve. So you need to buy a second piece to complete the curve on the back side of the bar. And then I think you need to get a third one if you want to, because the horseshoe is pretty tight.
Right.
So I think you might need a couple if you want to do a complete bar. So Hasbro should look into just selling that by itself. People will buy it because there's very little in terms of dioramas available for Black Series.
Well, you may see a lot of Panda, whatever those 2 guys are, and Ben up for sale here soon.
What?
The 3 guys that come with the set?
Oh, Ponda Baba, Dr. Cornelius Estevan, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think that's like the 6th 3-pack of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yay, Obi-Wan. Omega.
I'm Omega.
Did you have anything else about?
No,
that was it on Hasbro?
Just 4 Marvel live streams and 1 Star Wars.
But talking to Jordan and talking to everybody else, Marvel Legends is kind of their bread and butter right now.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. I would imagine Marvel doesn't charge as much as Star Wars for action figures because they don't have that legacy. Star Wars has a long legacy of action figures. It's the gold standard. I would personally, that's my opinion. I know it's not true for everyone, but
Yeah. No, I could agree with that. And what else? They don't have. It does feel like Lucasfilm is very secretive with their stuff. So maybe that's why we're not getting the releases that Marvel Legends is.
Yeah, I think they're secretive. I also think that they charge a lot. I think Lucasfilm charges a lot per figure, which is why we're not getting the Build-A-Figure, because if they were to put in an extra figure into each box, that's just, you know, like, well, you actually have 2 figures in that box, which means we get 40% of the cut instead of 20.
Jesus.
Whatever the case may be. I would assume. I'm not an insider.
Hasbro, you might have wanted to cut that $10,000 check a few years ago, and you'd be okay.
Yeah. $10,000 a year.
That's all you had to do, Hasbro. Watch the Toys That Made Us, guys. You'll understand.
Kenner. It was more Kenner than Hasbro. It was before Hasbro.
No, I thought it was right when Hasbro took over that they didn't write the check.
That's when it lapsed. I'll
Yeah.
have to go back and watch the Toys That Made Us.
Go watch it. It is fun because after the summer social, you're watching the Toys That Made Us, and it's like you've met everybody who's been on that show, which is crazy.
I also brought some swag to the meetup, but I guess I made more swag than needed. I made 30 buttons, and I think I handed out about 15.
We had a good 15 to 20 people there today. It was a nice meetup.
Yeah.
I think it was the perfect size.
So we just need to build on that.
Yeah.
Get people involved again.
Exactly. It's coming. We'll get there. It's coming back. But it was good to see the same people again. The regulars.
Yeah. We got to get people outside the regulars. Not that we can... I don't want to abandon and forget the regulars, but just want more local buy-in.
Right. We'll get there. It's building it, I think, and you've done a good job of letting people know and trying to put the events out front and center, and getting people to remind. Did you see my live video today? Was that not awesome? Or what?
Yeah, it was like 5 seconds long. I'm like, oh, Glenn's live, and I missed it because I was at an apartment for my mom, and went to go watch it later. And you're like, it's Meetup Day. It's Meetup Day. It's Meetup Day. And that was it.
That was it. It was Meetup Day.
It was Meetup Day.
That's all I wanted. So
Okay.
it was short and to the point.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was only 5 seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
That's what she said.
Win.
But it was short and to the point. To be like, hey, we have a meetup today. And I wanted people to see my excitement of having a meetup again.
Yeah. And I wonder if people are just scared because it's COVID, or are they scared about just going on to people's houses? I mean, it seems like everybody who came today was vaccinated. So it's really not a concern. Although Delta's, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so I forget what I'm saying. I don't want to ramble on about that.
All right. We're a non-political podcast.
Right.
We're Star Wars, Back to the Future, and Bill and Ted.
If you want to get political, let's talk about the Trade Federation and everything they've done to cut off Naboo from the rest of the galaxy with their, what do you call it? Blockade. I think more political, or at least more upfront, would be how the Empire destroyed the cloning facilities on. Whatever. That was a pretty incredible 2-part episode, and it kind of leaves off where in a mountain that we see in Heir to the Empire. So it seems like the Empire does continue the cloning in Mount Tantus, I think it's called.
It's been a minute since I've read those books.
And that's where they cloned Luke, the 2 U's, and George Sabaoth, because they add like a vowel to the clones to signify that it's not the original, that it's a clone. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was the one part where I was just like, really? Can we just... I don't know.
I need to go back and read it. It's on my list. I think after I get done with the latest High Republic book, I'll go back and start reading those books.
You gotta read Tales of Bounty Hunters, at least the IG-88. Excuse me.
You can't be yawning, dude. You're driving.
You can do more than yawn.
You parents had you up early this morning looking for apartments?
Well, I was up late last night because North Cobb football went till midnight.
Oh, jeez.
My daughter was there taking photos for yearbook, so I had to pick her up, and I was in bed by 12:30.
That's awesome.
It's a good time.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear that she's continuing. At least she likes something you do.
I could take the expressway, or I could take the...
Whichever way you want.
Well, expressway costs money. It doesn't look like there's any need to because 75's not backed up.
Okay.
For now. We'll see what happens when we get there.
Right, I think you'll be, because it's saying 10 to 12 minutes.
It's the Arkansas people.
It is sweet.
Yep, she's looking at her phone.
Oh, don't drive and look at your phone. Oh, young kids. It's
Hold
scary.
your phone. George is hands-free.
What else? Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay, we were in 30 minutes.
30 minutes, so we've got enough for a complete podcast.
All right, cool. Well, everybody, y'all have a good rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed our... Oh, look, the things are closed, so you can't take the expressway, Jason.
Yeah, I'll have to take 75 and hope that it doesn't get backed up.
Right. Well, everybody, y'all have a good rest of your day. Jason's going to hopefully not kill us on the way home.
This is where I put the sound effect of screeching tires and a crash.
Yes.
Oh, my eye!
This is the way.
This is the way.